All right, so we're diving into Shadows of Atonement today by B. Edward Blackman.
Oh, yeah. This one's
Have you read this one?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride.
It is.
I'll tell you that.
And it really digs deep into this family, the Black family.
Yeah, the Black family.
And all the craziness that they go through.
Oh, yeah. Secrets.
Yeah.
Hidden potential. Even a threat that could change their lives completely.
So where do we even begin with this one?
Well, I think the heart of the story lies with these relationships, Brian, Elizabeth, and their son, Alex.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's so much tension between them right from the start.
Absolutely. Elizabeth's left Brian for another man, Bishop, and Alex is stuck right in the middle, resenting his mom for the whole mess.
Yeah, talk about a recipe for disaster. It's like a powder keg of emotions just waiting to explode.
Right, and it makes you think about the mental and emotional toll this takes on each of them individually.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian especially seems to be carrying a lot of baggage.
Oh, absolutely. We get these glimpses into his inner world through the letters he writes, and it's clear he's drowning in guilt and regret.
It's like he feels like he failed as a father to Alex.
Exactly, and he's desperate to make things right. He even apologizes for things Alex might not even be aware of.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking. You can really feel his pain.
Yeah, and that's where things start to get really complicated.
What do you mean?
Well, Elizabeth finds a letter from Brian that suggests he might be suicidal.
Oh, no.
And the police get involved. Detective Hayes is the one assigned to the case.
So we've got a missing persons case now on top of everything else.
Exactly. But then Alex stumbles upon some clues on Brian's laptop.
Like what?
A hidden map, for one, and some deleted text documents that hint at something bigger, something planned.
So it's not just a simple case of a man on the verge.
It seems like there's a whole other layer of mystery unfolding here.
Wow. So we've got this intense family drama and now a missing persons case with a possible conspiracy brewing.
Right. And we haven't even touched on how Elizabeth and Alex are coping with all of this.
Yeah, good point. Elizabeth must be a wreck.
She's definitely dealing with guilt over leaving Brian and the fear that he might actually hurt himself.
Not to mention the stress of her new relationship with Bishop.
Exactly. It's clear that's causing a lot of tension with Alex.
And poor Alex stuck in the middle of all this.
Yeah, he's angry with his mother, worried about his father, and trying to piece together what's really going on.
It's like he's trying to solve a puzzle, but the pieces keep changing shape.
Exactly. And as he digs deeper into his father's life, he's forced to confront his own perceptions of him.
Yeah, it's like he's discovering a whole new side to his dad.
Absolutely. And this is where things take another unexpected turn.
Oh, but I know.
We find out that Brian has been living a double life.
What do you mean?
While he appears to be falling apart, he's been secretly helping others in need.
Wait, so he's like this silent guardian angel.
In a way, yeah. For example, he's been supporting Lily, a young barista struggling with anxiety.
Wow.
And he even intervened when Greg, a student, was contemplating suicide.
That's incredible.
Sure.
So he's helping others through their darkest moments while battling his own demons.
It's a stark contrast, for sure. It makes you wonder what's driving him to do this.
Is it some kind of attempt to atone for his perceived failures as a father and husband?
Maybe. Or perhaps it's a subconscious cry for help.
Or could it be something else entirely?
The novel keeps us guessing.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so captivating.
It's like he's trying to make up for something to prove his worth.
That's an interesting thought, especially when you consider his relationship with Alex.
Right. Alex is craving his father's attention and approval, while Brian is trying to demonstrate his love and worth through these hidden acts of kindness.
It's a complex dynamic, for sure. It's almost tragic in a way.
They're both trying to reach each other, but going about it in these roundabout, almost self-destructive ways.
Exactly. And that's what makes this story so powerful. It's a raw and honest portrayal of a family struggling to cope with loss, betrayal, and the weight of their own expectations.
And then we've got this whole other layer of intrigue with the introduction of D-Man.
Oh, yeah. D-Man, this mysterious figure who claims to have been saved by Brian from suicide years ago.
Wait, what?
And now he's watching over the family like a guardian angel.
That's a bit creepy, but fascinating.
Right. And he hints at this classified military program that Brian was involved in.
Okay, now things are getting really interesting. A secret military program. What could that have to do with anything?
Well, D-Man suggests it might explain Brian's unique abilities and perhaps even his altruistic nature.
So there could be a connection between Brian's past and his present actions.
It's certainly a possibility, and it raises a whole host of questions.
Like what?
Could this program have somehow influenced Brian's mental and emotional state, even his capacity for empathy.
This is getting deep.
It is. We're seeing layers upon layers of complexity here. The Black family's internal struggles, the mystery surrounding Brian's disappearance, and now this hint of a larger conspiracy.
I'm hooked. What happens next?
Well, Elizabeth decides to confront Bishop about Brian, hoping to get some answers.
Oh, that can't be good.
It's not. Things spiral out of control pretty quickly.
How so?
Let's just say there's a dramatic explosion at Bishop's trailer park.
An explosion? Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is not your average family drama.
Nope. It's about to get a whole lot crazier.
I can't wait to find out what happens next.
Hmm.
Okay, so last time we left the Black family in a pretty intense situation. An explosion at Bishop's trailer park.
Yeah, definitely not your average family barbecue.
So what happens to Elizabeth and Alex after this whole explosion thing?
It's a real turning point for them, both physically and emotionally. They're injured and on the run, forced to rely on each other in a way they haven't in years.
Yeah, I bet that kind of shared trauma can really bring people together, even if they've been at odds.
Absolutely. It starts to break down the walls they've built up between them. This vulnerability.
Makes sense. But they're not alone, right?
No, they're not.
Oh.
This is where D-Man and his mysterious team come in.
Oh, yeah, the guardian angel type?
Exactly. They swoop in and rescue Elizabeth and Alex from the wreckage.
Talk about a dramatic entrance.
And they promise to reunite them with Brian.
Really? So
Yeah.
where is Brian exactly?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. They reveal the existence of this hidden, luxurious bunker where Brian has sought refuge.
A bunker? I mean, I guess it makes sense considering the whole secret military program thing.
Right. It's designed to protect people like him.
People like him? What does that even mean?
It's all a bit cryptic, but D-Man hints that Brian possesses these unique abilities.
Abilities, like superpowers or something.
Well, not exactly, but something beyond the ordinary, perhaps stemming from that classified military program.
Okay, so we've got this family drama, a missing persons case, a possible conspiracy, and now superpowers.
It's a lot to take in, I know, but it's all connected somehow.
So how does this whole bunker thing tie into Brian's mental and emotional state?
It seems like he's found a sense of peace there, away from the pressures and expectations of society.
So it's like a sanctuary for him.
In a way, yeah. He's able to explore his abilities, his heightened empathy, his connection to others who share similar experiences.
So it's not just a physical refuge. It's a place where he can finally be himself.
Precisely. But the reunion with Elizabeth and Alex isn't without its challenges.
I can imagine. There's a lot of baggage to unpack.
Oh, yeah. There are years of hurt and resentment to work through.
So how does it go?
Well, Brian reveals the truth about the organization that's been manipulating him. The same organization responsible for his enhanced abilities.
So this organization isn't just some shadowy figure lurking in the background. They're actively involved in Brian's life.
It seems so. They see Brian and potentially Alex as valuable assets, weapons to be molded and controlled.
That's terrifying.
It is. It adds a whole new layer of complexity to the situation.
So not only are they dealing with their own internal family drama, but now they have this external threat looming over them.
Exactly. It forces them to confront their past traumas, their resentments, their hopes for the future.
And Elizabeth, I bet she's feeling even more guilt now.
Yeah. She's wondering if she abandoned Brian when he needed her the most.
And Alex, how's he taking all of this in?
He's grappling with the realization that his father isn't just the broken man he thought he was.
It's like his whole world is being turned upside down.
Right. He's faced with the possibility that he might share these abilities, this burden.
That's a lot for a young man to handle. And it brings us back to the whole mental health aspect of the story.
Absolutely. How does one cope with such a profound revelation? How do you reconcile your past perceptions with this new understanding of who you are?
It's like a whole identity crisis on top of everything else.
Exactly. And that's what makes the novel so thought-provoking. It explores these universal themes of identity belonging and the power of connection in the face of adversity.
So what happens next? Do they stay in the bunker or do they fight back against this organization?
That's the big question. The novel leaves us with a sense of hope, a flicker of possibility that they can overcome these challenges. But the threat remains.
So it's a cliffhanger.
In a way, yes. The path forward is anything but clear.
So we left off with the Black family heading to this mysterious bunker, led by D-Man.
Right.
It's supposed to be some kind of safe haven.
Exactly.
But what's it actually like?
Well, it's not what you'd expect. It's this sprawling, high-tech complex, hidden deep underground.
Like a secret lair.
Kind of. But it's not just some dark and dingy hideout. It's luxurious, self-sustaining.
So not exactly roughing it.
Not at all. It's almost like a utopia for people who don't fit in with the world above.
Wow. So how does Brian react to all of this?
He seems to have found a sense of peace there, away from the pressures and expectations of society.
It's like he's finally found a place where he can be himself.
Exactly. And he's able to explore his unique abilities, his heightened empathy, his connection to others who share similar experiences.
So it's more than just a physical refuge. It's a place where he can truly belong.
Right. But the reunion with Elizabeth and Alex isn't all smooth sailing.
Yeah, I bet there's still a lot of tension between them.
Absolutely. There are years of hurt and resentment to unpack.
So how does it play out?
Well, Brian reveals the truth about the organization that's been manipulating him, the one responsible for his enhanced abilities.
Okay, so this organization is more than just a shadowy figure.
It seems so. They have a very specific agenda.
And what is that?
They see Brian and potentially Alex as valuable assets, weapons to be molded and controlled.
That's scary.
Mm.
So they're not just trying to help him. They're trying to exploit him.
It seems that way. And that adds a whole new layer of conflict to the story.
So now the Black family is facing an external threat on top of their internal struggles.
Exactly. And it forces them to confront some difficult questions.
Like what?
What does it mean to be different? What are the limits of free will? And how do you protect yourself from those who would exploit your uniqueness?
Those are some heavy themes.
They are, and they're explored with a lot of depth and nuance in the novel.
So what about Elizabeth? How's she dealing with all this?
She's wrestling with her own guilt and regret. She's wondering if she abandoned Brian when he needed her most.
And Alex?
He's trying to come to terms with this new reality, this new understanding of who his father is and what he's capable of.
It's like his whole world has been turned upside down.
Exactly. And the novel doesn't shy away from the psychological and emotional impact of these revelations.
So it's a thriller, but it's also a deep dive into the human psyche.
Right. It's about family secrets, hidden potential, and the struggle to find your place in a world that doesn't always understand you.
That's powerful stuff.
Yes.
So what ultimately happens to the Black family? Do they stay in the bunker or do they fight back?
The novel leaves us with a sense of hope, a possibility that they can overcome these challenges and forge a new path together.
But the threat remains.
Yes. The organization's motives are still shrouded in secrecy, and the future is uncertain.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into Shadows of Atonement. It's a story that stayed with me long after I finished reading it.
Me too. It's a reminder that even in the face of extraordinary circumstances, it's our human connections that give us strength.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this story so compelling. It's about family love and the power of hope, even in the darkest of times.
It's definitely a novel that will stay with you, and it might even make you question your own place in the world.
If you're looking for a thought-provoking thriller that explores the depth of human emotion, then Shadows of Atonement is definitely worth checking out.
I agree. And for those who've already read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most? Share your insights in the comments below.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.